Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a new moon reading for Sacred Union. I wasn't going to do a reading. Actually, let me take that back. I was going to do a reading, and then some ascension symptoms and allergies too hit me on Wednesday, so I had to postpone a lot of my client readings in exchange for some rest and recuperation. So yesterday and today I have been catching up on client readings. Yesterday, last evening, I was intending to do a reading. I had a little bit of extra time after my workday was done. And I was intending on doing a new moon reading, just pulling some cards then. Got halfway through the video and the energy just stopped. It just stopped. It just pulled back. And it was not the right time. It was not the right energy. It was not the right time. It feels like there's a major shift that is occurring today. The energy today feels very, very powerful. But I did pull cards from this Moonology deck. You can check it out on Facebook and on Instagram. All about fresh starts, all about new beginnings. What I had channeled in the beginning of that reading was that we might be experiencing some residual karma closings. We might be feeling some residue of the closings out of cycles, the expansions that we're going through, the integrations that we're going through. But really what's happening is there is fresh starts and new beginnings all over our timeline here, our collective timeline here. And you can see that on the macro scale, and you can see that within your own life and within your own journey with your sacred partner. And even if it doesn't feel like that, even if it doesn't look like it quite yet, understand that things are still aligning in the higher dimensions, in the energetic realms, for that new beginning to take place. Like I said, there's still some residue from the old that's closing out, but that's what we've been going through for the past 6 months. Well, yeah, almost 6 months now. Back in December, we had channeled that December 31st to January 1st, there was going to be a portal, a doorway is what they had showed me. The clock striking midnight, so to speak, was opening up a portal, opening up a doorway into this next level of ascension. And we've been channeling that for the past few months, that we're really integrating that energy, moving into this next phase of ascension. And what they had told me was that we'd be walking through that doorway, walking through that portal, that shift in consciousness, that shift in dimensions. And that is exactly what we have done. But in order to do that, we have to, you walk through a door, but you have to fully shut the door behind you as well. It's all a process. It's all integration. And so what we've been doing the past 6 months, really, January until now, and even going a little bit into June, is really closing out those cycles. And like I said, some of that karma, that residue of that karma of the old cycles is still lingering. We're still clearing that out, but it's like the dust. It's like once you clean a house, if you're clearing out a house in order to move, the last step is to dust everything and make sure that you get all the dirt up off the floor and stuff. That's what it feels like. It feels like we're really closing up this house and moving into their next house, like moving onwards and upwards, that kind of thing. A strange analogy, but that's what they gave me. I also do want to mention this because they're calling me to it. Please do, if you haven't already, please do check out the Sacred Union Path to Ascension. It was a channeled message video that was extremely, extremely powerful. And it explains for twin flames, divine counterparts, high-level soulmates, whatever it is that you want to call it. Really, the label doesn't matter. You know by the soul resonance where you grow with a partner, where you're truly healing with a partner. We grow with everybody. We heal with everybody. But you know the difference. You can check out my Soul's Connections explanation on my website if you're interested in how I try to define it, just for definition purposes. But really, you know by the heart resonance and how you feel with your person. You'll know what your connection truly is, and none is better or worse than the other. It's just the path that you choose. But in that those channel messages, they were really explaining the journey to me. And if you've been on the channel with me for a very long time, you know that we talked about the Three of Pentacles being the Trinity energy, being my union card for a while. And it was because it created a triangle. If you guys can see my little rudimentary drawing here that I did on that that channel message video. I'll put a link in the description box. It was Trinity energy here. And it was source energy, divine masculine, divine feminine. But over time, Spirit began to say, that's not entirely accurate. We needed you to have that base understanding to understand how you're always connected. But we want you to understand that there truly is no separation, that it's a little bit more merged like that. Because this triangle still creates degrees of separation, if you can see by the separate points here. And so they began to use the Three of Cups as my union card, because it was the card that they were showing me. It's not the traditional Three of Cups, it's a non-traditional deck, but what they were showing me was two cups pouring into the third. And it's the Two of Cups, where you have love to offer to each other because you filled up on your own love, pouring into the third cup. And that third cup is with source energy. And when you pour 2 cups of water into a third cup of water, that energy, that substance is completely merged and blended together. So they started using Three of Cups as my union card. Recently, in a client reading and then in other downloads, they showed this to me. It's a circle. And they said, this is more like what your journey is all about. You have a starting point, and they've showed this to me in a different way, so I'm gonna start over here. So we have this. They gave me more after I stopped recording the video, so let me make this a little bit darker. Okay. I can't draw circles, that's okay. All right, so you guys see everything? Yeah, okay. So they said this is your starting point with your divine counterpart, your twin flame. This is that soul recognition when you guys meet and really recognize each other. This is when you're really launched on the ascension journey. You might have met before, you might have been friends before, you might have encountered each other before, but this is really that spark, that soul recognition when you're launched on the ascension journey. And then what happens is you have periods of separation. Divine masculine goes their way, you go your way. But you're always connected by this circle. Your energy is always one. Your energy is always one, always connected. It's just physical separation. And this can last for a couple of months. This could last for a couple of years. It could be on and off. You can come together and then you can go apart again. You know, your journey is going to be uniquely different and individual to each of you. Even though we're part of a collective, we are also individual. And that's beautiful because we're unique blueprints of the same source energy. We are expressing ourselves uniquely, but we are one with source energy. That is unity consciousness, knowing that we have these unique identities, these unique incarnations, but we're all from that same source. And what they had said to me was a beautiful phrase. They said, you're all threads of the same woven tapestry. And you and your divine counterpart are one thread. Because you're that same energetic fingerprint, so to speak. In the National Geographic, they'd explained it as a quantum entanglement, where it's one blue photon splits and becomes 2 red photons, but throughout time and space and distance, what one does affects the other. As one changes, so does the other. No matter how far they are apart, that's the theory of quantum entanglement. And that's exactly what these twin flame sacred partners is all about. So, okay, I digress. Going back to this. So, separation or no, some of you have spent time with your counterpart. Some of you have spent time apart from your counterpart, speaking physical proximity to each other, like lack of communication, lack of seeing each other, that kind of thing. But it's because you still had your own individual growth to do. And sometimes you'll come back together and reunite. I spent the majority of my ascension with my divine counterpart, except for weeks and sometimes even a few months in physical separation. But that was part of our orchestrated plan because we needed that apparently to trigger each other. Those who are in separation for years, you are feeling them energetically, and sometimes that triggers you, or the separation triggers you. Whatever it is, it's a journey that is meant for your growth. And you know, before you incarnated here, you and your counterparts, higher self, determined what you would need for your growth and for your expansion. Apparently for me, it was me and my counterpart pushing each other's buttons all the damn time. So what happens is, as you go along your journey, you experience a lot of expansion and growth. And it's because you're healing what I like to call soul sludge. It's all that dense 3D energy, all the programming, all the conditioning, all the patterns and habits, and hold on. Excuse me, I knew that was coming. All the patterns and habits, addictions, attachments, any trauma, any heartbreak that was experienced in past lifetimes and in this lifetime. And let it be known that you guys aren't toxic to each other. If there's any kind of abuse, then this is not a divine counterpart connection. Really, really use your own discernment and follow your intuition. But you're not toxic to each other. It's just the toxic energy that comes up between you guys. It's all that soul sludge, all that karma, all that baggage that comes up to be clearing. So you push each other's buttons. Because you mirror each other. You're showing each other the shadow aspects of each other, of yourselves. You're showing each other the best of each other, and you're showing each other the worst of each other, to clear out or to reconcile those shadow aspects, or that trauma, or that heartbreak, or that dependency, codependencies, attachments, addictions, habits, mindsets, beliefs that are no longer serving. Maybe it served a past incarnation of you, because everything is for our growth. Everything is for our experience and for our learning, for our expansion. So it may have served a past version of you that needed to learn that, but going into ascension, it doesn't serve you anymore. Ascension is all about transcending beyond all this dense 3D stuff. Looking at things from the higher perspective, looking at things from the soul's perspective. What do I need to learn? Why am I having this experience? Doesn't mean that you don't feel. You can't numb yourself out. Spirituality is not about numbing yourself out. Spirituality is about going deep within, doing the deep dive. Ascension is about going deep within into the inner spiral, the inner sanctum of the self. And the deeper within you go, the higher you ascend. Because the deeper within you go, the more aware you become of your consciousness, the more aware you become of your soul self. And that is what true ascension is. Ascension is a shift in consciousness, an awareness of consciousness. And so, so you're going along this journey, sometimes separately, and you're getting closer to union. This is like the halfway point. This is like the big dark night of the soul, the big awakening, the big, and even if you've had awakenings before, I had awakenings before I met my divine counterpart. My illness with Lyme disease was the catalyst for my awakening, but ascension was a different ballgame. Ascension was next level. You hit the halfway point of your ascension journey, which is like a tower moment. And sometimes you're aware of it. Sometimes you have to look back and see where that was. Sometimes you just feel that there is like a new start or a fresh beginning. And you continue to ascend, and you reach that harmonious sacred union with your partner. For my collective that I channel for, we are like right here. We are in the process, and all of this is a process. All of it is a process of union, because all of it is a process of ascension. And as we reach here, this is where we really come into reunion, where we're communicating more with our divine counterparts. There still might be triggers. There still might be some hot and cold behavior, some withdrawing. But the withdrawing is not from running. It's not, there might be some self-sabotage, some subconscious stuff that's coming up to the surface, but it's not from running so much. It's out of fear. It's just from a need to integrate the energies, because the energies between you two, when you come together in communication or physical proximity or sexual union, is so incredibly powerful, because your chakras are aligning, because you are aligning, because your energies are merging. And so what they're actually saying to me now, they're they want me to go back here. This is where you reach inner union. Okay? Because this is first and foremost a journey of the self. It's a journey of self-love. And remember, because you're one with your counterpart, as you reach this, I mean, it might be different as far as timelines, but timeline is an illusion, time's an illusion. In the 3D, as you are reaching inner union, your divine counterpart is going to be reaching inner union as well. And then that launches you into the process of outer union. So this is what we're talking about here. We're talking about outer union, your partnership with your divine counterpart. And this is really where you are. You really are at this stage where you're in communication again. And again, you might be going into hermit mode. You might be withdrawing a little bit, but you're making more of a concerted effort. You're not giving up on this connection. Neither of you are giving up on this connection. And you know it and you feel it. And complete communication, vulnerability, and intimacy might not be had yet. There might not be declarations of commitment and love quite yet, but that's the process. It's the process of identifying with yourself. For divine masculines, they are learning their identity beyond what other people expected of them or wanted of them. They're learning what it is that they want. They're learning who it is that they are. For a lot of them, they had blended into their work or their family or their other partners, not taking into account who they are as sovereign beings. So they really are working on self-identity, and part of that self-identity is releasing attachment to any toxic behavior, any addictions, any attachments, any patterns or beliefs that aren't serving, number one, who they truly authentically are, and number two, who they want to become. The masks are falling off, and we had channeled that. Very interesting. We channeled the masks are coming off, or the masks come off in today, Friday's Romance Angels Friday Daily Energy Draw. I'll put a link to that in the description box below. And I was called a couple of days ago. Spirit reminded me, you had channeled that back in February. And sometimes in my readings, I do actually channel ahead. So they said to me, you had channeled that back in February, go look up that reading. I looked up that reading and watched that reading, and it's very pertinent to the energy that I channeled in today's daily energy draw. So the masks really are coming off. The masks, the illusions, the self-deception that the divine masculines have upheld, thinking that they have to be this way or that be to be accepted, this way or that way to be accepted, that mask is coming off because they are accepting and finally loving themselves. And because they're finally accepting and loving themselves, they're able to then receive that love from their divine counterpart. So what's happening here is, and I want to get to divine feminines too. Divine feminines, you're really stepping into your power. You're recognizing your independence, where you might have been codependent on either your divine masculine, this journey, this connection, or other people. Even subconsciously, you're recognizing where to put up boundaries and how boundaries are healthy because they make sure that your needs are met. Where you need to express yourself if you had been repressed or suppressed, if you were holding back out of fear of either people pleasing or not, or rocking the boat, if you were afraid of confrontation, you're really standing up and expressing yourself and saying, no, this is what I need, this is what I want. Not being afraid to speak up and really speak your truth and know what it is that you want. What else have you been going through? Divine feminines have also been really manifesting their next level of their life, really taking charge of their life, but from a place of flow. They're not taking control of their life. They're not manipulating their life or those around them. They're really in divine feminine energy where they are just allowing the universe to move through them. They are also not overextending, not overgiving. They are learning balance, and they're learning how to receive. And divine masculines who are stepping into their feminine energy, really their feminine energy within them is rising. They're learning those things too. And some of the things that I mentioned about the feminine energy, about the divine feminine, that's masculine energy that they're healing within them. So remember, you have both divine feminine and divine masculine energy within you. And so that's where you're becoming balanced. That's where you're coming into inner union. And as you come into inner union, that's where you come into outer union with another person. Okay. So once you reach sacred union, this is working together. This is being in harmonious relationship with one another. Doesn't mean that it's going to be, rose-colored glasses, everything is sunshine and rainbows. I mean, yes, you guys know how it feels. You're in like this sacred bubble when you're with your person. But you might face challenges. You might face obstacles. You might face experiences. But the thing is, you're working through it together now. You're not in that resistance to one another. There's not that push and pull energy anymore. You're working through it together in harmony, in partnership, in this love, through this love, because you're both recognizing the unconditional love that you have for yourselves and for each other. This is that true partnership. This is, this is that true partnership. I'll just leave it at that. So here's the second part to this that they showed me. They said, yeah, it's a circle, but did you know that it also makes an infinity sign? They said it also creates another circle. So, my rudimentary circle. So they said, this is your next level of ascension that we've been guiding you to teach about in your readings. The Hierophant lately has been coming up, and they've been telling me it's not commitment so much, it's not partnership, it's not marriage so much, it's next level ascension, it's the next level of your journey. It's been an ascension card for me. And they said, this is the connecting point here, where these two circles connect. This is that harmonious sacred union. And what happens then is you're going on this journey together, the next stage of your journey together. And no matter which path you choose, no matter which direction you go, you're walking hand in hand. No matter which direction you choose, you're going together. And this is that infinite love. If you've been on the channel with me for a while, you know that we've been channeling the infinity sign. We've been channeling the flow of love, the constant give and receive, and give and receive, the flow of love, the free flow of love. That is what your union creates here. You've been through this challenging journey, and now this is what this beautiful flow of love is. It is infinite love between you two. And as you reach this sacred union, the work that you've done, and it's only by doing the inner work. It's only by doing the inner work, by going deep within. That's the only way that you'll achieve inner union and that inner peace and balance. And that's the only way that you'll achieve the inner peace, that outer peace, the external balance within your partnership and within your life. Because of what is achieved within, as within, so without. And so this is that beautiful infinite love that we've been channeling, that they've been showing me on the channel for so long. It all leads to this. This is sacred union. All right. We're going to do a teaching series on this. I know I've been promising this for a while. I'm going to take some time off of collective readings next week, I think, so that I can record those. But there have been a number of very powerful channel messages on here on the channel. I have a whole playlist of them, but if you don't want to watch the whole readings, I'm going to do a truncated teaching series for these sacred unions, and that should be up on the channel next week. That is my goal. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to explain all of this so that it's easily accessible, because there has been so much coming in, and I do want to lay it out for everybody. But let's get into the reading today. That wanted to come out, so let's get into a quick reading and see where these sacred partners are with regards to each other and their union. So today is the new moon in Gemini. It is a sign of the twins, no less. So let's see, Spirit, what do we have for today? Spirit, what do we have for today? What message do you have for today for these divine counterparts? Okay, what do you have for today for these divine counterparts? You're just pointing me to the deck that I'm going to use for tarot, so okay. Got it. Ooh. Oh, wow, did you see that? Did you see that fly? So yesterday, like I said, on Instagram and on Facebook, we had fresh start. I think it was like a new start begins or something like that, as well as a new romantic cycle begins. So 2 cards of new beginnings. Here we have work through your fears. And the bottom of the deck, we have surrender to the divine. And look at the bring love into the situation. And look at all the purple here. Look at all the crown and brow chakra here. This is all about tapping into your emotion, tapping into your intuition, tapping into your connection with yourself and with your spirit team, with source energy itself. This is all about trust and faith in yourself, in your counterpart, in your connection. Work through your fears. Don't be afraid to do the deep dives. Don't be afraid to do the shadow work. Yes, it can be painful, but your counterpart is there to support you, either energetically or in the physical. And if you don't have your counterpart, your soul family, your spirit tribe is there. Whether you have a soul family and friends and family, or in your spirit team, they are there to support you. And you cannot ascend without doing the inner work, because the deeper you go within, the higher you ascend. That is just how it works. It's the inner spiral. The deeper you go within, and you can't just stay surface level with your spirituality. Your beliefs, your mindsets are constantly evolving the more you understand and the more you grow and expand. That is what expansion is all about. You may have a layer, but those layers expand. And so it's like an onion, you know, you peel back a layer and you can't just stop there. You have to keep going. Especially when you're launched on this ascension journey. Now, you do have a choice, of course. You have that free will, but that's when you get stuck in repeating karmic loops. That's when you get stuck in that same stagnant energy. The universe, that's when you get tower moments. The universe is pushing you forward because your soul is craving and longing for you to keep going, to keep ascending, to keep shifting in mindset and beliefs and patterns, to not do what you were doing in the old patterns, because again, that's just karmic loops repeating. Then you're just staying stuck in a new version of the matrix, or an old version of the matrix. This is ascending out of that. This is true freedom happens when you go within yourself. That is true. That's becoming a free spirit. That's really what a free spirit is. And I read something recently, and I've seen this before, where it said that, you know, spirituality is not yoga and tie-dye shirts and long hair and, you know, all this stuff. It could be that if that's how you want to express yourself. But being a free spirit means having the courage and the strength to dive deep within yourself and not have anything or anyone or any system hold you back from who you are. Being a free spirit, being truly spiritual, is recognizing the self-mastery and the sovereign nature of yourself. It's truly about working through your fears. It's truly about surrendering to yourself and to spirit, knowing that you are one and the same. It is about love and bringing love back into your life. Okay, sorry guys, we had a very loud truck there. And self-mastery is all about recognizing that you are the bridge between the human and the spiritual aspect of yourself, recognizing that you are having this human experience for your spiritual growth, that you can't negate or divide your human experience and your spiritual nature, the soul of yourself. That you are consciousness, yes, but you are in a physical vessel having this very physical experience for continued expansion of that soul, of that consciousness. And as you are expanding in your consciousness, you're helping Source expand in its consciousness, and thus the universe is expanding. It is all interconnected here, beautifully interconnected here. So bringing this down to sacred partners a little bit, bringing it down to that third dimensional level here. What's happening for divine masculine and divine feminine here is I feel like there might be a little bit of withdrawn energy, a little bit of a timeout, a little bit of a hermit energy here. Because I feel like both counterparts are really taking the time with this new moon to do more of the deep dives. Really going within, seeing where is that residue, where is the karma that needs to close out, where have I been holding myself back, where have I not been doing the inner work, where do I need to do the inner work, where am I feeling like there's a transformation that is occurring, where can I assist in that, where can I surrender more, where can I bring more love in. Vulnerability, and look, we have two new moons, very interesting here, two new moons flanking the full moon, and full moons are all about release, release, surrender. And new moons are all about manifestation. What are the intentions that you want to focus on? Where are you going to put your energy? Where are you going to put your thoughts? And for here, it's working through your fears and bringing love into the situation. A few weeks ago, we channeled about becoming more intimate with yourself and becoming more intimate with your partner. And this is not physical intimacy, although it could be. It's about becoming more emotionally open and vulnerable. Working through your fears of recognizing your emotions, recognizing communication is needed, recognizing where you're holding yourself back out of fear, out of discomfort, out of expectation, out of self-deception, whatever it is, out of habit, whatever it is, and where can you manifest more love? Where can you manifest more vulnerability and openness? Because that is what deepens your bond and deepens your connection. So I feel like both counterparts are working through this and learning how to surrender. You're learning how to surrender to the universe, to your higher self, to your oversoul, learning how to surrender to each other and to this connection. And I truly feel like both of you are feeling this connection. I'm going to keep that there. Okay. I'm going to use this deck. They pointed me to this deck. So let's see what's going on with these counterparts. I'm just going to get a quick update. I didn't expect that little, the intro, the teaching intro there. But that's what's been coming in. I've been getting a ton of downloads, you guys, that I am going to share in like a teaching kind of series over the next few weeks. So do stay tuned for that if that is of interest to you. I try to be a traditional, like, a reader where I just focus on the relationship, and that's just not what has ever come in for me. So I appreciate you guys who are part of this community and who appreciate that. That's for your soul growth. That's for your expansion and your ascension journey as well. And it's really beautiful to see you guys as part of that community who are interested not just in the relationship, but in your soul growth and in, what it is that you're becoming and the better version of yourself that you want to be. The best version of yourself that you want to be, I should say. That's really, it's humbling and it's an honor really to be a reader for you. It really, really is. So I just wanted to express my gratitude and say thank you very much. Not just as part of this community, but my clients, Patreon subscribers. You guys, you have been not only a support system for me, but you've allowed me to be a guide and a teacher and a support system for you. And that truly is a humbling and honoring experience both at the same time, and I thank you very much for that pleasure and that privilege. Okay, so all right, let's get what's going on with these sacred partners. What was that? The Hermit. Yeah, what did I say? A little period of withdrawn, but this is so that you can go deep within. They're showing me the spiral again, the inner spiral, going deep within the higher heart, so that you can gain that internal wisdom. That is part of your soul. That is your soul's wisdom. You have that eternal wisdom within yourself. And so this is really following your inner guidance, following your own internal, eternal wisdom. So you guys might be taking a little bit of a time out, a little bit of a pause in communication, a pause in getting together, a pause in seeing each other, but you're still thinking about each other. Absolutely, you're still thinking about each other. Okay, let's get some clarity on these Queen of Rods and Queen of Swords. Okay, I'm picking up on divine masculine energy here. So you're being depicted as both the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords here. Okay, let me just get a clarifier on the Queen of Swords. Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. We have death on the bottom of the deck. I'm going to take that. And the Hanged Man, I'm going to take that too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was seeing these cards. All right. All right. I'm going to take all of them. All right. You guys know how I do. If the energy in the cards feel charged, I'm an intuitive reader. That's how I read the cards. I don't read traditionally. Okay. Your Divine Masculine, especially, is seeing you as both the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords. And you might actually be feeling this way, Divine Feminines. I read mostly for Divine Feminines. Take it as it does resonate for you. You can switch the roles if it's resonating in that way. So you might actually be feeling this, but this is how your Divine Masculine is seeing you. They're seeing you as very fiery, as very, they just gave me the word sassy, as very passionate, as very, they might actually be seeing you in very stubborn energy as well. I'm picking up on that energy. They might be seeing you, especially paired with the Queen of Swords, just like no bullshit. I feel like you're tired of the games. I feel like you're tired of any place where you feel used or taken advantage of or manipulated, and you're cutting that crap out with that Queen of Swords energy. You're just not taking it. You have received clarity. You have been asking for truth and vulnerability and honesty, and you're just kind of taking your sword and like, whatever. You do you if that's what's important to you, and I'll do me. I've been putting my focus on this connection, but if that's not where you want to put your focus on, that's fine, because I'm the Queen of Wands. I know how to take care of myself. I have that confidence. I know how to take care of myself. I know how to be independent. I'm closing out that cycle of us not working together. That's how I feel like you're feeling, Divine Feminine. But Divine Masculine is seeing you in this energy, and it's like they're becoming magnetically attracted to you. It's like they're seeing that spark, and it's like it's calling to them. And they're very much afraid that you're cutting them out. I'll get to that in a second. With the Three of Pentacles here and the World here, they're putting you on a pedestal. They want this partnership with you. Remember I said the Three of Pentacles used to be my union card? They want to collaborate with you. They want to create a life with you. They want to create the world with you, travel the world with you, be part of the world with you, because they see you as their world. Again, putting you on this pedestal. You might actually be a guide in some way to them. Now, that is not to say that you're a motherly figure or fatherly figure to them. That's not to say that you're a coach to them. You are meant to be partners, but they might be seeing you as on a pedestal because they might be battling some self-worth issues. They might not see themselves as equal to you quite yet. And you might not actually be seeing them as equal to you based on, behaviors and patterns and their actions. But energetically, remember that you are one. And you can't always look at the 3D for the evidence. I mean, so here's the thing. We live in a physical world. And if the 3D is not aligning with your happiness or what you want, then you have choices that you can make. But always trust your heart. Always trust your intuition. You're not meant to wait, especially Divine Feminines. You're not meant to wait for anything or anyone. You have your own life to live with your own desires. And what it is that you want, but coming into alignment with yourself, you'll come into alignment with your partner or another person or a soulmate who is ready for you. So you're not meant to wait for a particular person to come into alignment with you. What's meant for you, again, surrender. What's meant for you will always be meant for you. For some of my collective, you're actually open up to the possibility of soulmates who can, maybe teach you more about love that your counterpart maybe is not ready to teach you or show you or give to you. Possibly because they're not able to receive. So you're open to soulmate connections. You are open and surrendered to the divine because you are at one with the divine. You're at one with yourself. And so my collective really is split. There are some who are coming into union with a particular person, their sacred partner. There are some who are moving into more soulmate connections, but that's not to mean that one is better or worse as a connection. There is beautiful, beautiful love to be had in both connections, and happiness that is to be had in both connections, and magic that is to be had in both connections. Either way, you're aligning with your heart, and that's the most important thing. So if it triggers you, just know that that's still some fears to work through. Ask yourself the tough questions of why is it triggering you. Be honest with yourself about what it is that you want, and know that no matter what, whichever direction you go in, the truth is you're aligning with your heart and what your heart desires. And so whether it's a soulmate or it's your sacred partner who is ready and in alignment with that, it's going to be this beautiful love, this beautiful connection. So, okay, going back to this. So masculine is seeing you in this energy, confident and just speaking your truth and standing up for yourself and taking authority for yourself, just in your sovereign, beautiful strength. And they're looking at you as the world. They're wanting the world with you. They're wanting to work with you. But I feel like here, Ace of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, the Lovers. Wow. This is what they're wanting. But I feel like this is not what they're showing. And because this is not what they're showing, they're desperately afraid that you're going to cut them out. Because they know that they're not showing this. They know that they're not being open entirely with the full force of their feelings for you. They know that they're not open with how they envision a lifetime with you. They know that they're not open with how they're choosing this connection and choosing you. They know that they're not open, and so there's some fear here for divine masculines that you're going to cut them out before they even have a chance. It's very Five of Cups energy here, regret, very Four of Cups, missed opportunity. I'm seeing both, and it feels like it's almost bringing in a tower moment, and it's creating a little bit of anxiety for them, some sleepless nights, some heartbreak, and it's funny, it's like they're causing this themselves. They're causing this heartbreak themselves. This is, what's the word where, it's not coming to me, what's the word where it's like, before it even happens. There's a word for that. They're causing the heartbreak for them before it even happens. They're worried about it before it even happens. But I feel like this fear that they're going through, this anxiety that they're going through, because they're picking up on your energy. They're picking up on your energy that you're done with the games, you're done with the hot and cold, you're done with the in and out, you're done with the lack of balance in your connection, the lack of communication, the lack of vulnerability or emotional availability. You're done with that because you're standing in your power, in your confidence. You know how to take action and care for yourself. You're just ready to, cut out anything that is interfering with your happiness. And they know that you can be happy together. You know that you are happy together, but they have been holding themselves back. It's interesting. It's almost like you see how these cards are smaller. You see how these are clarifying cards. This is what's being hidden from you. You're not seeing this. This is all being kept underneath the surface. You're not seeing this at all. And because of that, divine masculine knows that they've been holding themselves back, again, within those masks. And I feel like that's what's causing this transformation. Now, for some, it's the end of a cycle. I mean, it is the end of a cycle for all. But for some, it's the end of a cycle where you really are cutting out your divine masculine and saying, I've had enough. When you're ready, maybe we'll consider this again. You're moving on to soulmate connections. For others, you're just moving on independently for yourself. For others, you are with your divine masculine. How do I say this? You're with your divine masculine, but you're ending the toxicity. You're ending the games. You're ending the bullshit and the manipulation. It all depends. I have a very large general collective, so take it as it's resonating for you. But there are endings here. You're cutting out anything that isn't in alignment with who you are, what your truth is, and your own happiness, your own inner peace. This is forcing... How did this get upside down? This is forcing this transformation. It's a transformation within yourselves, and it's a transformation within your connection. Your connection is transforming. I am going to focus more on those who are coming into physical partnership rather than those who are going into soulmate connections. I'm going to focus more on those who are coming into physical partnership with their divine counterpart. Because of this transformation, Divine Masculine is becoming illuminated. Because of this ending, I should say, Divine Masculines are going through a heavy transformation. It might feel like a little bit of a mini dark night of the soul. It doesn't feel like a huge thing. It just feels like, it doesn't feel like a tower moment as in like a complete shakeup. It just feels like a light bulb moment. It feels like a revelation. It feels like a breakthrough for them where they're really recognizing where they've been holding themselves back, where they've been having toxic elements and behaviors and habits, addictions, attachments, where they've been holding on so tightly to things that aren't serving them anymore. That's just created resistance in their life, where they have been Spirit just told me something else. What were you saying? They're just going through this complete transformation of their inner world and of their mindset. They are shifting in consciousness, and they had been resisting this shift in consciousness because they were still in the ego, and the ego was really resisting this. But over the past few weeks, we've really been talking about how Divine Masculines are gaining victory over the ego as they allow their intuition and their emotion and their heart to take center stage. Really balancing out that logic, masculine mindset with the feminine emotions. They're no longer suppressing that feminine emotional energy anymore, no longer blocking this. And they recognize this. They're recognizing this. Before, they were really deep-seated in denial and self-deception. They were really hiding behind that mask. But now they're really recognizing this, and they're recognizing that there's a new way of living and a new way of loving. And that's the enlightenment that they're gaining. See how he's in stagnant energy here? See how he's all held up and bound up? This is what Divine Masculine had been living in for so long. And now what's happening is he's breaking free from this because he's being illuminated, because he's being enlightened. This is true enlightenment. True enlightenment is a recognition and awareness of the self. Recognition and awareness of your identity, your human self, and of your consciousness, which is, again, bridging. You can't have that division of human versus spiritual. You have to bridge that. That is true self-mastery, and I feel like Divine Masculine is becoming enlightened to that. At least, they might not have the words for it, but at least on a unconscious level, they're beginning to understand this. They're feeling, allowing themselves to feel, and as they allow themselves to feel, they're allowing themselves to express. And what I'm getting is, it's like it's going to come out as an explosion. It's going to come out as like a volcano of words and love and expression. It could be actions. It could be effort. It could be a gift. It could be like a poem or a word or a song or something. But it's like they can't hold back how they feel anymore. And rightfully they shouldn't, because that is the true balance of inner union. That is the true balance of Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine energy. The distorted masculine energy was when they had really held back their expression of self. They had really held back their emotions. They didn't allow themselves to express their true feelings because that was conditioning. That was learned behavior. That was patterning. And they're recognizing that, and they're breaking free of that patterning. They're breaking free from that matrix. And so what's happening is they're allowing themselves to fully express their emotions to themselves. And as they feel safe to express their emotions to themselves, to be honest with themselves, they're understanding how it is safe to be open and honest with you, their Divine Feminine, because they are becoming very clear about this connection as well, and how they feel at home with you, how they recognize you, how you've had past lifetimes together, because I feel like they've been getting downloads in dream state or in meditation. They might even be getting tarot readings on you. They might even be having mentorship with like shamans with you is what I'm getting. When it comes to your connection, they are really diving deep into themselves and into their spiritual journey. Again, they might not be full throttle yet. Some might be kind of tiptoeing into it. But there is a recognition of this connection is not something I've known before. And for so long, they held on to the template of what they knew before. And they did try to put your connection in that box. Divine Feminines, you did this in the beginning as well. before you really began to understand this journey and before you really began to ascend, you tried to put this into that box before as well, before you realized that this is new. You had to surrender. You couldn't put it in the box of the relationship that you knew before, because this transcends the 3D matrix of relationships and templates that you knew before. Divine Masculines are understanding this now. And so what's happening is this transformation is happening, and what's happening is this new beginning. New beginning, the Judgment card is my awakening card. It's my second chance, my rebirth card. Divine Masculines have been called to rise, and they resisted the call for so long, but they can't resist it anymore. Again, it's like a volcano. It's like erupting inside of them. Their soul is craving this for so long, and they're craving it so deeply, this change, this evolution, this expansion. And with the energies that are incoming onto the planet, they don't have a choice anymore. It's just going to feel, if they keep resisting, it's just going to feel like they're being squeezed and suffocated, and like they're held prisoner in their own self and their own life. And if they would just surrender, they would recognize that there's freedom in this journey. There's freedom in this love. It was just their own resistance that was holding them back. They're being called to rise, and they have the choice to make it more difficult or harder on themselves. And we talked about that in the, it was either in today or this week's daily energy draws, which were really, really powerful, or in the Sacred Union Path to Ascension channel messages again, where it's like they're in a jungle, and there's a path that's laid out for them. It's their soul's path, not anybody else's path, but their own individual soul's path is already laid out for them. They can choose to just surrender and walk it, but it's like they've been choosing the hard way. They've been choosing to take a machete and like go through the thick jungle and cut down vines and everything that's blocking their way, and go against animals and just like all this stuff that's blocking their way. Just like it really is obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. But they make it harder on themselves through their resistance, through their stubborn nature, when the path is already set for them. It's their own soul's path. It's nobody else's path. It's their own soul's path that is unfolding for them. Spirit is saying, if you would just follow me, if you would just follow your soul, if you would just surrender and listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, you would see that this beautiful path is laid out for you, that you don't have to fight, that you don't have to struggle. And either way, it's funny because what they were showing me is either way, you're going to end up at the same destination. But you can choose the hard way, or you can choose the soul's pathway. And these Divine Masculines, for so long, through their resistance and that stubborn energy, they were clinging to the past out of comfort, out of expectation, out of an unwillingness to change, out of a fear. They chose the hard way. But now they are being called to rise, and that trumpet is sounding so, so loudly. And they're at this starting point again where they have to take that leap of faith or get pushed. It's almost like Spirit is saying they don't have a choice now. Take that leap of faith or get pushed. Wow. All right, I'm going to get just a few more cards because this is already running really long. So let's see what we have here. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Cups. I'm going to take all that. Let's get one more, please. Thank you. There's that Ascension energy. Yeah. We have Knight of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Cups, and we have the Hierophant. I just want to get a little bit more clarity on the Seven of Cups here. Spirit, what's this Seven of Cups about? Got it. Okay. And the Four of Wands. Remember when I said that it's all going to lead to the same place? It's all going to lead to this union energy. Four of Wands being a card of commitment, stability, security, celebration, happiness, joy. It's a union. Like the energy that's coming through is just union. It's that harmonious union that we had talked about. And what's interesting is that ascension. So it's this. So this is what you're working towards. Knight of Pentacles, I feel like Divine Masculine is taking up arms now, and they're moving towards you. Might be a little bit slow still, but it doesn't feel slow, honestly. This doesn't feel slow at all. There doesn't feel like there's, it feels like there's action being taken here. It might look a little slow because they're in this hermit energy, but it doesn't feel like it's slow. It feels like momentum is picking up because of transformations that they have been undergoing. This feels more like they're taking up arms, and with the pentacle here, they're ready to make it tangible. They're ready to make it sincere. They're ready to make it real. They're ready to get out of their fantasy and bring it down into reality. That's the energy that I'm getting here. Again, we have the 10 of Pentacles. This is happiness. This is wish fulfillment brought down into the tangible, brought down into this physical reality. This is that lifetime of abundance and partnership and family and happiness and financial security and abundance. This is very physical, very real, very tangible. That's what this Knight of Pentacles feels like. It doesn't feel slow, although it might look slow because of a little bit of withdrawing energy. With the 7 of Cups and the Temperance card here, what I'm picking up on is it feels like planning. Temperance is a union card for me as of late, because it can be an energy of patience, but it's really an energy of healing, and you see the alchemy between the two. Remember when I said the 3 of Cups is the 2 pouring into the 3rd cup because you have a cup of love to offer to each other? Look at the cups pouring into each other, alchemizing, blending together. And the king rising in the background here, that sun rising, but it's a crown. The king rising in the background here. With the 7 of Cups here, this feels like a new opportunity, fresh opportunities, fresh beginnings for healing this connection. And it can come in a number of different ways. And I feel like that's where they're asking you to heal any expectations, heal any time constraints, any expectations around time. Really surrender to this union. Really feel within your heart. Ask yourself the honest questions about what it is that you want within your heart space, and really be open to it occurring in any number of these different ways, because with the Hierophant here, this is commitment, and this is next level ascension. And this is the energy that I was getting. They're calling me back to this. With this 7 of Cups and I'm going to get all of these cards here. Remember when okay, let's do this. So this goes here. This goes here. Okay. So you can see everything. Can you see everything? Yeah. Okay. So this is your journey that you've been on. And here's where you are. Where's my pen? Here's where you are. Both of you. Coming back together into this reunion. This is where I feel like the Divine Masculine is taking up arms. They don't want to give up on this connection. They've either told you this or inferred this to you or shown this to you that they're still around. They're still thinking of you. This could be coming in dreams. This can be coming in downloads. This can be coming in song lyrics that you get downloaded to you, telepathy. Or this could be actual physical words where they say, I don't want to give up on this. In whatever way they say it, that you mean something to them, that this connection means something to them beyond what they can even or have been saying to you. They're taking up arms. They're ready to move forward for you, for this connection, in this partnership. Again, this you are here energy. With the 7 of Cups and the Temperance card, it's like there are opportunities coming in for this healing to come together in this sacred partnership, to merge at this point of convergence. That's what this energy feels like. It feels like there are several opportunities that are coming in for healing purposes, to heal the past, let go of the past, let the past be behind you, finally completely, and that might come in the form of communication where you talk about the past and let it go. It might come in the form of forgiveness. It might come in the form of a physical reconciliation. It might come in the form of effort or communication from your Divine Masculine who sets out his intentions with you, for your connection. It's an energy of opportunity that comes in for a fresh start, to heal your connection once and for all in order to be on the same page. It's this energy right here. This energy, this point of convergence, is being on the same page so that you can begin your ascension energy together. With the Hierophant here, this and the Four of Wands, this is commitment. This is a higher level of engagement with each other, a higher level of commitment. This is making the effort. This is pure balance. Two keys here. You both hold the keys, and you look at how they're intertwining. This is both of you journeying into the next level of ascension together in this higher level of partnership. This stable partnership. No more of the bullshit. No more of the games. No more of the manipulation. No more of the in and out energy. No more of the hot and cold energy. This is stable. This is secure. And I feel like that's why the Divine Masculine is taking up arms. And with the Seven of Cups energy, I feel like it's going to come in a number of different opportunities, a number of different ways. I actually feel like Divine Masculine is thinking of ways in which they can come in and help to heal this connection and bring it to the next level of ascension, which is Divine Masculine energy. Divine Masculine energy is the one who takes action, who takes the lead in the connection. So that feels really amazing. Wow. Okay, so that makes complete sense for why I was asked to do that in the beginning. So, oh man, this is getting really long. Okay. What I'm going to do is pull a romance angel for you guys. I just want to get, how are you guys feeling about each other to kind of end this. Okay. Let's get a how are you feeling about each other at this current time. And I do feel like we have the new moon energy. I do feel like that's what this shift is bringing in. This shift is bringing in that higher level of ascension energy that we have been channeling for the past few weeks. It's bringing in this transformation. It's bringing in, it's almost like what I'm seeing is this stuff. Remember this stuff that was kept hidden? The depth of love, the intention, the choices, the connection was being kept hidden from you. This is what's rising to the surface with this shift. Again, it's like erupting from Divine Masculine. Okay. So how is Divine Feminine feeling towards her Divine Masculine at this time? How, crap. Hold on. How is Divine Masculine, no, how's Divine Feminine feeling about Divine Masculine at this time? How's Divine Feminine feeling about Divine Masculine? Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. I feel like Divine Feminines, you're just kind of surrendered. You're just kind of going your own way. Maybe you're socializing a bit. Maybe you are, focused on other connections right now. I feel like you're pulling back energetically a little bit. You might be leaning on support of your friends, your family, your spirit team, who are on this journey as well, your soul tribe who are on this journey as well, for some support. But I really feel like you're not focused on the connection so much anymore. I feel like you have faith and trust in this connection. You have faith and trust in this journey. And I do feel like you're more focused on your soul growth at this point in time, which is healthy. It's very, very healthy because, like I said, what is meant for you will be meant for you. And you're always going to be coming back around to each other, to what is meant for you. But it's all about surrendering so that you can come into alignment. And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing here. Okay, and Divine Masculine to Divine Feminine. How's Divine Masculine feeling for Divine Feminine? Separation, time apart. Yeah, so I feel like I don't feel like this is separation as we've known it. I feel like this is that Hermit energy. Yeah, because they have strong romantic feelings for you. I feel like this is that Hermit energy where they're a little bit withdrawn because they're going through this transformation. I do feel like there is an end to separation, that physical separation. You're coming into reunion. You're coming into reconciliation. I do feel like there's an end to any kind of separation. So when I say that you're withdrawn, you might not be speaking for a few days. You might, but that's not separation. That's not separation. Not, and don't try not to think of it as separation anymore. It might have been separation in the past, but try not to think of it as separation anymore. It's just this time apart for going within. It's like if you're taking a business trip, you're maybe physically apart, but you're still together. You're still with one another, at least with how you're feeling towards one another. So try to remove that separation, because that's, you're never separate from your counterpart. You truly aren't. And the more you focus on separation, the wider the berth is what they're telling me. The wider the berth, or the more the division, so to speak. So don't think of it as separation. Think of it as just personal growth time. And I feel like you're mirroring each other in this, where you're both kind of focused on yourselves. But underneath the surface, again, Divine Masculine is feeling a ton of romantic feelings for you, Divine Feminine. They are feeling all of this emotion underneath the surface, wanting partnership, looking at you as the world, wanting the world with you, feeling that Ace of Cups with you. So much love. Like, this is overflowing with love. This energy here with the Ace of Cups, wanting that lifetime with you, dreaming of that lifetime with you, planning for that lifetime with you, and choosing you and this connection, recognizing this connection for what it is. They are feeling the full force of their emotion with you. There's just an energy of personal growth time and transformation. But I do feel like that separation is ending, and I feel like that's what this new moon shift is bringing in. I feel like between now and the full moon in June, which I'm not sure what the date is for that, but I feel like the full moon in June is going to be pivotal. There's extreme growth and expansion that's happening within these next 2 to 3 weeks. With this new moon in Gemini that we're experiencing right now, is bringing in, what I'm hearing is revelations and breakthroughs and a lot of clarity. And it is bringing in a lot of expansion for this relationship to enter in a new stage of ascension and commitment and harmony. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful messages here. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for today's Sacred Union Energy Update. We will be back with more daily energy draws and more collective readings next week. I'm going to try to do a collective reading over the weekend. I might not do many collective readings next week, but I'll try to have an update over the weekend and see how the energy is shifting. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light, and we'll see you soon. Bye.